This video is made possible by North Naperville Autos. If you're looking for a quality used car in the Chicagoland area, North Naperville Autos is here to help. Browse their inventory at northnapervilleautos.com and drive home in a new vehicle today.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2001 Chevy Suburban 2500. Up front is an 8.1 liter V8 and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be driving this here 2001 Suburban for a couple of reasons, but mainly this has some awesome early 2000s GM tech in it. And I'm excited to share that with you guys. This is an awesome snapshot of what GM was doing with their trucks and SUVs in the early 2000s, late 90s, which is one of my favorite eras of GM trucks. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are looking to help out the channel, there are a couple links in the description below from our awesome sponsors. One of which is Cash for Cars if you're looking to sell your used car. One is from Fixed, a Bluetooth OBD2 sensor to help diagnose your vehicle, and another from Conplates. Conplates is a suction cup license plate mount for your vehicle in case you don't want to drill into your front bumper. Each purchase or quote goes towards helping the channel, and it's greatly appreciated, so let's get on with the video. But let's get back to that 8.1 liter V8. It is now the largest displacement engine I have ever reviewed here on the channel. This beats the 1998 Dodge Viper I drove by 0.1 liter. However, it actually has 2 fewer cylinders than that Viper. So, go figure. That 8.1 liter makes 325 horsepower and 447 foot-pounds of torque. Now for the Suburban, it was only offered here in the 2500. The 2500 was sort of a beefier, more workhorse trim of the Suburban. Forget the nice cushy features. This was for towing. This was so you could bring your 2.5 kids, dog, boat, and dirt bikes all along on the same trip. Now, this engine was actually also found in a couple of other vehicles, mainly like U-Hauls, motorhomes. It was GM's engine that they sold off to other utility companies. According to online sources, this Suburban can tow just over 10,000 pounds, which is about 2,000 pounds more than the modern Chevy Suburban. So in 20 years, we've actually lost 2,000 pounds of towing capacity. That's how much of a brute this truck is. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed automatic transmission. And no, it is not the 4L60E that I thought it was going to be. It's a slightly heavier duty 4L85E, which is like the weird bodybuilder cousin to the 4L60E. I'm sure if they had Thanksgiving together, the 4L85 would push the 4L60 around a little bit. It's fine. It is a 4-speed, which for towing and things like that, I wish I had like a nicer highway cruising gear, but it is geared pretty tall and it seems to be doing the job fine. All right. It just muscles its way through everything. This feels like the kind of engine that would try to fist fight a fire. 8.1 liters. That's just over a liter per cylinder. This ain't a small block. Last but not least, we have a couple more things to talk about with the wheels. First of all, this is 4-wheel drive, and I'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. But I also do have Auto Ride, which is basically a sort of predecessor to Chevy and GM's magnetic ride. Now, this is actually a type of air suspension, and through various sensors, it sort of reads the road and figures out what the best settings would be, but it's not that crazy. I don't have any crazy adjustment switches in here. I can't manually change my ride height. I can't lift it to go off-roading. I guess it helps out a little bit. But with that out of the way, let's finally talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of gauges. However, it should be noted that these are out of a Cadillac Escalade of the same era. A previous owner actually upgraded them. However, the gauges are known to fail in this generation of Silverado, Suburban, Tahoe, things like that. The needles will start to dance around, and one day they'll just give up completely. Or the other fun one is that they'll just start telling you some misinformation. Like my friend in his 04 Silverado said we were doing about 120 when we were doing about 25 to 30. However, in these gauges on the far left, I have my trans temperature, which is great. I have my tachometer, speedometer in the middle, and on the right, I have my fuel, voltage, oil pressure, and coolant temperature. It all looks very nice. However, like I said, this is from an Escalade, so I can't comment on it too much for the Suburban. But if you are looking for a quote-unquote upgrade and you have a Suburban, it might be something to look into. On the steering wheel, I just get the airbag, nothing really cluttering the steering wheel. I don't get any crazy buttons. And this does look more dated. This looks older than 2001. To me, this looks like a mid-90s steering wheel, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's fine. To the left of me, this is where we'll find our four-wheel drive settings. So I have auto four-wheel drive, 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low, as well as I'll get my fog light switches, and off to the left, I get my light switches. Moving on to the door, I have my power mirrors up top, window locks, and I have my window switches. As well as up higher on the door, you'll actually find the heated seat options. So I have high and low heated seats. I've never quite seen them up on the door like this, which is always interesting to see. Moving into the center, I do have an aftermarket radio because every radio from the early 2000s was pretty garbage. And then I have the climate controls themselves. What's funny is the fact that it says computer climate controls. No, these aren't climate controls for your computer. I guess they're just computer activated or electronically ran climate controls. So it says that printed on there. Off to the right, I actually have my OnStar button. So this is one of the first years you could get OnStar in a GM product. So if you need roadside assistance, you can hit the button there. Down below the climate controls, I actually get this little hidden panel. And when you pull it up, from my driving angle, I still can't see what's under it. But if I turn my head, there's actually 3 12-volt outlets. 3 12-volt outlets all next to each other. I cannot name you another car that has 3 identical 12-volt outlets so close to one another. Then I also have a little coin holder / really ashtray. So I guess you could light 3 cigarettes at once and put them out here. Then I get a little center hump. This has a Dolby noise reduction tape player in it. So if I want to listen to cassettes, I absolutely can. And then I get another extra little cubby. Not really sure its total use, but I guess nice that I have it. Moving on to the center console, we start off with 2 cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Chevy Suburban, and it passes. That's right, the 2001 Chevy Suburban with the 8.1 liter 2500 passes the big friggin' bottle test. Then we get the center console, which is openable, which is very nice. Very large storage compartment. Again, my unit of measurement here is always a rotisserie chicken, which would fit nice and snug. Moving on to the seats. The seats are actually out of a Cadillac Escalade. So these are not the original seats for the Suburban here. Like I said, this is more of a towing grunt work vehicle, and these are nice plush Escalade seats. However, they are comfortable, so I guess it has that going for them. Speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2001 Chevy Suburban 2500. Now, I have to assume that these back seats are also out of the Escalade. If not, they match the front seats very perfectly. Backseat space is phenomenal. It really, really is fantastic. If you're going to be carrying your family back here, there's not going to be an issue at all. I'm 5'11", I'm not a small guy, and I am rather comfortable. I do have 2 sort of cup holders down here that flip out. They're not the best. I do also get a center console that has 2 more cup holders. However, you can see it's kind of interestingly hinged. It comes up and then forward. Kind of interesting there. I do have a 3rd row of seating. We'll talk about that in a second here when we talk about the cargo space. But back here, really great. I do also have my own computer climate controls up here, which is just fantastic. And I have these sort of airplane-like vents up in the ceiling that I can change. Let's hop around back and talk about the cargo space. All right, so we're on the back of the Chevy Suburban, and this actually has the barn doors, they're called. So you could get it either with a normal tailgate or with the barn doors. This one has the barn doors. So open up the first one here, and then there's this little handle here to open up the second one. Now, once they're open, you get this really awesome wide opening. Now, I don't really know the particular reasons why you would want this over a traditional tailgate, because the tailgate just goes up, so you can get just as close on a regular tailgate model or anything like that. That is our second row of seating. Now, it is also from the Escalade, so it is not currently bolted in. But sitting back here, you have some great storage options, some cup holders, a 12-volt outlet right here, which even some modern SUVs don't have. This opens up for some added storage, and I do have a lock and unlock switch right here. Also, I could put a privacy cover, tons of options back here. Now, this is what really sets the Suburban apart. I mean, look at how much longer of a chassis the Suburban is. The Tahoe has 3 rows, but that third row is going to be coming up right here. You're not going to have any luggage space. As you can see, those seats bolt in. Their last bolt is right there. So you get like 3.5 feet of extra cargo space behind that rear seat, even if you have the whole family in here. That is truly amazing and one of the big perks of the Suburban. Now we got to talk about the looks. And I don't think that the 2500 Suburban is particularly pretty in its stock form. However, I will say that I grew up around these, and this being a relatively clean example definitely brings me back to my childhood. I like the look of them because I grew up around them. I had a neighbor that had one, and I remember we would take it to the Brookfield Zoo and sing the beluga whale song in the back. So I don't think it would win any particular design contest. However, this was designed by Wayne Cherry, who designed a bunch of my favorite GM products, so a tip of the hat to my good friend Wayne. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on the Chevy Suburban 2500. Well, this is an interesting SUV. Let's talk about the downsides first. That 8.1 liter is going to be thirsty. It is thirsty. There's no denying it. Anything really above a 4 liter anything is going to be thirsty, and this doubles that with some. And the other thing is that these vehicles carry a little bit of a premium, crazy aftermarket or not. And the reason for that is because these are so good. If you wanted to tow a house with your whole family still inside the vehicle, this is the car to do it with. If you want to tow a boat as well as carry your entire Beanie Baby collection, you can do that here in the Suburban 2500. And along with all of that, you get some really cool 90s, 2000s GM tech. I get my computer climate control, my auto ride, OnStar, and all these interesting features. Plus that 8.1 liter V8. They just don't make SUVs like this anymore. This has to be the last SUV to have over an 8 liter in it. Probably over a 7 liter, over a 6.5 liter. And that's just really cool. This is the end of an era for GM, and I have to say, I think I'm gonna miss it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me take out their Chevy Suburban. This is for sale right now. This is one of their vehicles. They have tons and tons of other vehicles in their inventory, so please go check them out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.